And I have to ask, has evil officially jumped the shark? What's up, friends? And sorry about not having a live stream for Evil this week, but in the spirit of not trying to get behind, so we can just focus on the last two episodes when they come out, I'm going to film this short video to tell you my thoughts on this episode. Now, look, this one is called Fear of the Other. It's season 4, episode 12. And I have to ask, has evil officially jumped the shark? And it's a tough question to ask about a series that I love so much, but I have to be honest. I know that they had a limited amount of time left to finish out their story, but this episode was a bit messy for me. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay, Leland Townsend, number one, he's been on trial for the murder charges of the two people that were found in the attached bedroom of his townhouse. And it looks like he's going to escape those murder charges against him. Now, the judge in this case was played by Richard Kind, and in this episode, he basically sold his soul to the devil. We also learned that the Archdiocese is going to shut down the assessor program and is closing St. Joseph's Church. We knew that that was coming because of the Black Bluff. We also learned that everybody who is staying at St. Joseph's is going to be sent off into the world apart from our friends. So, Sister Andrea brought a case to the assessors involving a man named Paul who was being haunted by his doppelganger. I thought this could be a very interesting way to visit the doppelganger syndrome, something that I am truly interested in. And I'm also going to be looking to find out if there's really a website to find your doppelganger, even though many people say this is my doppelganger. The assessors investigate Paul's case and they witness some strange occurrences at the witching hour, which is 2 a.m. I thought it was 3 a.m., but in Evil Universe, it's 2 a.m. Now, the episode explores the doppelganger phenomenon and its effects on the main characters, meaning Kristen gets a little curious, goes and looks for her doppelganger. She also looks for a doppelganger of David, and she almost immediately starts having these sexual fantasies about him, but that doesn't shock or surprise me in the least. Ben also found his doppelganger who was living just like a normal, ordinary family life. And we wonder if Ben is kind of wanting that for himself, or is he happy in the chaos that he calls a normal life? Sister Andrea confronts her guilt because, see, Paul, the man who's being haunted by his doppelganger, also happens to be the son of the man that she was madly in love with, and that she kind of broke his heart because she had to make a choice between God and her own happiness with this man, and suggested that this man killed himself. I know this video is about to get demonetized just because I said those two words, but that this man took his own life because of his heartbreak. Even though he had went on with a life and started a family with someone new, he never got over Sister Andrea, or at least that's the way we are supposed to read this. Eventually, Sister Andrea convinces David and the others to do an exorcism on Paul Jr. because she's seeing some stuff that could potentially point at demonic activity, even though Kristen and Ben have both offered regular scientific explanations for this phenomenon. Now, David is still in this struggle with his faith and his purpose after all of these recent events, to include the church being closed down a whole heck of a lot sooner than they had planned. Ben and Kristen, again, they explored their doppelgangers. They contemplated different life paths if they had made different choices. And Dr. Boggs unexpectedly turned coat on Leland in court, saying that Leland, yeah, he might be schizophrenic, or he might be having these paranoid delusions about demons, but if he were left on the streets, he would be a danger to himself or others. And that led Leland to say, well, he's dead. And I can't help but agree with Leland there. We explored a lot of themes. The themes that we kind of focused on the most were guilt and redemption, but also faith and doubt, because there were moments that Sister Andrea had doubt in her choice to give her life over to God. And then there was the guilt that she felt of not being able to be everything that Paul Sr., the Paul Sr., not being everything that he needed, and that could have potentially resulted in his death. And then there's friendship and support. And the friendship and support part comes because Andrea needed a friend in this moment, but she turned to David instead of as a friend, as a priest, as a pastor. And he, as a friend, had to build Andrea up in the one way that she'd understand, and that is by using his priestly duties in order to make her feel better and to tell her, hey, none of this was your fault. There is nothing that you personally, you could have done that would have stopped Paul Sr. from taking his own life. And then there's these identity and alternate life paths. We know that David is kind of mulling over in his mind whether or not he would be happier in a secular life with Kristen than he is in the priestly role that he has vowed to be a part of. And he's not saying this out loud, but we know that there's a struggle going on there. But then there's also the struggle with Kristen and the choices that she has made and that she has yet to make. And of course, Ben. This episode does feature some strong performances, specifically from Andrea Martin as Sister Andrea, but she always gives it. She always brings it when we have an episode centered on her. Also had this crazy thing where Ben received multiple job offers, but he's hesitant to pursue any of them. And I'm wondering if it's because he had really found his place in the assessor program, and these other jobs that are very high paying, they don't seem like they would be fulfilling to him. Or is it possible, and now I'm just spitballing and thinking out loud, is it possible that he does not think that these job offers are real, that they are too good to be true? He'd be making $1 million a year damn near, doing science, using his scientific background instead of using his scientific background to help people in some of their darkest moments when they feel like they are being haunted by demons. Again, the show is still hinting at those potential romantic developments between David and Kristen. I got a strong feeling that they're gonna pull the rug out from up under us in these last two episodes. Why did I say this show has jumped the shark? Because this is one of the first episodes that I feel like shit is just happening because the writers need it to happen. There is no real in universe explanation or reason for these things. For instance, the judge just going crazy and killing Leslie. Like, wouldn't people notice that she went into his chambers and didn't come out? And also, wouldn't it be highly irregular for a witness to leave the witness stand who was under oath to go into the judge's chambers without representation from both sides, the state and the defense? That's just weird to me. This is a show about demons, but so much of it has been grounded that, that it wasn't hard to kind of make the leap into believing some of the things that happen are happening. This is something. This is just one thing I just pulled out. This is one thing. This is something that I can't explain in my mind why it's happening. And also, there was the Andrea doppelganger who hit the real Andrea with a shovel and called her a demon. I understand that they were trying to make a point that Andrea was feeling this guilt over Paul Sr.'s death and the torment that Paul Jr. was in because of his father's death. But where did this doppelganger come from? Where does she come from? The doppelganger. So these are questions that I was left with. I really wish I would have been able to do a live stream to talk them through to you, but that's what the comment section is for. This is probably the first episode this season that I'm not digging, and it happens at a very inopportune time because we need to wrap shit up in 2 episodes now. It doesn't seem like we got any closer to resolution on some points in this episode. It feels like we wasted time with this episode. But I could be being harsh. You let me know what you think down in the comments. Like and subscribe if you've not yet done so, so that we can hopefully pick back up next week. Hopefully things around here are back to normal and we can pick back up with the live streams because I really missed chatting with you. So with all that being said, I've got nothing else. Those are my thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.